Well, hello, and look at this crowded desk.
Hey.
Welcome into WCTV Sports Overtime. Ryan Kelly, Alison Posey, Taylor Viles, and who's this guy? That would be the undefeated head coach of the Taylor County Bulldogs, Jesse Braswell.
Give it up.
6-0, man. First off, before we even get into it, just how does 6-0 feel?
Yeah, man, it feels good. Our kids work really hard, year-long program, and they commit to what we believe in, and it's really cool. And we're 5-0 on the JV, and we got our last game next week. So winning's fun. You know, we work really hard to get the opportunity to win some games, and so really proud for our kids and our community.
And we were talking about it a little bit earlier. This is not your first visit to the WCTV studio.
No, it brought back some memories, man. Steve Price, the head coach at NFC back in 2018, and I and some kids come in here after we won the state championship in 2018 . So
That would have been with Kevin, right? Kevin Keene?
Yeah.
Maybe so.
I was going to say, he would have been
Yeah,
the
really
really
tall
high.
guy.
Yeah.
Really tall guy.
But it's really cool to be back. What an honor.
I would say we might, Taylor, if Taylor's correct in his prediction, you may be back again.
I was about to say, you
I
need
was
to
a
hire
little
Taylor
bold.
as your publicist.
I was a little bold at the
Yeah.
end. But I mean,
They deserve
6-0.
it.
Coach, the progression of this program, you guys win 2 games 2 years ago, 6 games to start the season last year, 6 games again to start the season this year. I mean, just how impressed are you with how this team has progressed?
Yeah, it starts with our culture. Just I came in, now it's 20 months ago, and February of 2024, and asked a lot of our kids in our county, and we went out and raised a bunch of money and created buy-in, right? And it's fun when you get a lot of people pulling on the same side of the rope, right? And we got that right now, and the kids believe, the community believes, and again, when a lot of people believe in one thing and believe it's bigger than themselves, it's bigger than the everything, nothing matters but the logo, and that's kind of what we got rolling right now, and it's fun. It's fun. That don't always equal wins, right? But right now it does, and that's what's cool.
You know, I know I've asked you this before and we've talked about it, but for you to do this at your alma mater, how much more special does that make all of this?
Yeah, it means the world. There's people there that I deeply care about, families and the tradition that can be there, right? And I'm just really proud to have walked the stage there in 2011 and played there. And we were pretty good then too, and then be able to come back and just give back, right? Like a coach is nothing more than just someone who lives a servant life, and so being able to give back to a community that, quite honestly, even before I got there, was hurting so bad from hurricanes and mill closures and just different things, right? And now there's a buzz around town, and it's fun. It's fun to be a part of. I'm a small part. I got some great coaches, some great admin, and a great superintendent that support us through and through.
Speaking of folks who know and love this program, one of those guys is your offensive coordinator, Shane Boggs. When you've got a
Full
guy
circle,
with an
man.
offensive mind like his, and I know a lot of Georgia independent folks know that all too well,
Yeah.
you match that with the superb athleticism of a guy like Bez. Just how much fun just is this as a coach? Do you ever get time to just look and be like, man, this offense is a whole lot of fun to watch?
Yeah, it's tough on me. I'm our I call our defense, and so get a ton of help from Tony Powell. He was the head coach at Jefferson, and what a great mind he is. And so I'm usually dug into the iPad, but it's fun for me to flip over to the offensive channel and just hearing those guys. It's Shane and Mike Mincy and Ocho Ellis and Zach Comstock, Sean Kaysen. Those guys they're a machine, man, and they work together well. And it feeds right down to our kids. Our kids work together well. And so that's a testament of what they're doing. And obviously I played for Shane. We go way back. And then I coached for him. We were just talking about it at the young age of 19. And so he's given so much to me. He was the guy who called me when I wasn't going to get into coaching. Said, hey, man, you need to be a coach. And so I owe a lot to him. And now to have the opportunity to bring him back and us doing this as a team is really, really cool.
Coach, we were talking about, before you got here, we were saying kind of how this show works and it's fan interaction, and we were looking at some of the comments. You got a lot of love on here, man. It's a great day to be a dog. Takeo 6-0. There's some more love here too that I was. Shout out, that's our head coach, such a great guy and loves our boys. I mean, you mentioned the fan base and stuff.
Yeah.
How neat is it, their support, and that's got to motivate you to want to win for them?
Yeah, it's my why, right?
Yeah.
And I want to give back to them. They've done so much for me. I got chills right now. And
That's cool.
That place, they don't even know it, but a young kid who was really struggling as a 16, 17, 18-year-old, you can go anywhere in life, and there's so many things out there, right, wrong, or indifferent. And that place gave to me. Shane and his staff and the teachers and the admin at the time gave back to me and instilled into me. And, Taylor County can have whatever name it wants, but I work at a place that's got unbelievable kids. It's got unbelievable admin. It's got unbelievable people that's working inside those walls. And we just get the chance to show y'all up here. I'm just the guy who gets to come to WCTV. There's so many more that play a part. But I'm just grateful, really, truthfully. They don't even know what they do for me, but they're the reason that I get to stay happy a whole lot.
Also, man, they travel. They were giving McClay a run for their money today. Just over an hour drive.
Yeah. We travel so well, man. We got a charter bus over to Gadsden. So
What's your highlights?
Man,
Have you
McClay's
seen them yet?
I haven't. McClay's a good football team.
Yeah,
man.
this interception, right? It was just, I said in the highlight, oh, look what I found.
Yeah, that's our starting inside linebacker. Here goes Bez on a quarterback, keeper up the middle, and what a great kid, man. I love him. Both those last kids, CJ Ellis on a little tunnel screen. CJ's a track star, man. He can go. Again, here's Bez on a little rollout to Drayden Flowers, freshman. Getting an opportunity.
And with the instinct to extend there, too.
Yeah, he's a heck of a football player, man. He's got a bright future ahead of us. Man, their quarterback can play. Their offense does a great job. That's a kid who's been playing a bunch of offense for us. I asked him to play defense because of a few injuries and had a huge night. DeAndre
That's pretty
Flowers.
decent. Yeah.
I had to throw in one for McClay here because this is a great pass on fourth down.
Heck yeah, man! I'm telling you, they can play. I mean, we played really well tonight, but they can play football.
You don't win. You don't start 5-0 and have a win in Hayhira against a really good Valwood squad without being really, really good and really, really buttoned up.
No doubt.
Like I said, they're not a contender, but you guys are definitely a pretender.
No doubt.
And excuse me.
Whoa!
Oh, Ryan.
I say,
Ryan,
I'm sorry.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
They
You don't have to say it
They are
again.
not a pretender. You are a contender.
100%.
And we got it done. And I'm just gonna walk away.
Now, I do want to say Ari Sloan, man, the head coach there,
Yeah.
that was just on. I didn't know Ari, but when I moved to the area, I told him tonight, I got call after call about, hey, call this dude. He can come help you. And so that's a testament to him and who he is and what he believes in. He's going to have that group going, man. Their kids play hard. And that's a testament to the coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that was his goal too. When we talked to him a couple weeks ago, he admitted he was like, I didn't think we'd be undefeated because they have so many new faces at different positions. But that was their goal. They wanted to play hard. He said, if we want to be successful, we have to play hard, and they're doing that. We did want to ask you about the future for you guys because you got a big one next week.
Yeah, man, it's Chiefland. Chiefland is a top 50 team in the state, and they're coming into Dorset. So what an opportunity, right? It's going to be a deep playoff type atmosphere game. What an opportunity for our kids. That's what you work for. When we talked to our kids in January about their why. Why are they working so hard in the weight room? Why are they doing their installs? Why are they doing their 4-on-1s? This is the why right here, right now. So it's back-to-back weeks for us against really good football teams.
I know I asked you after the game, you didn't love how your team finished last season after that 6-0 start. How can you turn that around and finish strong this year with that another tough game?
First thing I'm doing is I say a quick prayer every day about no hurricanes.
Ain't that the truth?
Keep those away
So
for
do
our
I.
for our community. But on a serious note, just I think we're built a little different. I just do. Like we get a full year, whereas I know I came in February, but we have a coaching staff that is committed to the process and they understand a year-long program. And we talk about quarters, the first quarter being spring, summer, and now we're into the second half of the season, which is the time's now, right? It's right now. We got to go. So we are so excited. Chiefland's got a really good football team, but that's why you coach, man. You coach to play the good ones.
Man, to your point about Taylor's fan base, when I was there in Bluntstown last year, I mean, that is a haul of parity.
Yeah.
And the visiting stands over there are slammed. Absolutely slammed. I mean, that's a great atmosphere and incredible environment to begin with over there at Bluntstown. But man, if your fans are like that on the road, you've played some big ones since you've made it back to Taylor.
Next week's
The
gonna be
Wakulla
electric.
last
gonna be
week
awesome.
or last year comes to mind at home. But man, how excited are you for what Dorset is going to be like the next time you take that field?
We need every person in Taylor County.
This is his plea.
It's going to be rocking. Last year's Wakulla was probably as loud as I've ever heard it. We played Pensacola Catholic in 2010 and lost them 14-7. And there was people stacked up. And Wakulla's last year, and we've had some good ones this year, but I expect next week to be they're going to have the fire marshal out there telling people they got to go home.
I would say, look,
Yeah,
right, that
there's your
camera.
camera.
There's your plea.
Give
Camera
him
4.
his one shot here.
Show up, Perry. Let's go get a win.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, man. Well, one last thing for me, Coach. Overall, you talked about it, 2010, you got to play in a great environment. To know that these guys now are in a position where they get to play in an environment like that, just how proud are you of their work and how excited are you that they get to experience what Taylor County is at this level?
Yeah, man. I'm excited for our kids. I'm excited for our coaches. I'm excited for our community. What an honor for us to be able to play in front of them. People who support us, give us food, give us money, just everything, right? And you do it to not play in 3-3 games. You do it to play in this type of environment and in the playoffs, you know? And so it's going to be a wild one. I'm really, really excited. I quickly turned the page. I've said it on this show that I celebrate a win. Tonight's awesome, but tomorrow's all about Chiefland.
Well, this man is definitely a contender.
Yeah,
contender.
not a
I'll say it one
pretender.
more time, a contender with the 6-0 Taylor County Bulldogs. Coach, thanks so much for joining us,
you.
man.
Yeah.
Tell you
And
what.
he's sticking
Yeah, I was going to say, I know
around.
you're going
Yeah.
to stick around,
Yeah.
but just wanted to wrap up this part, say we're going to pay some bills really fast, and then we'll be right back to talk about some of the other action on WCTV Sports Overtime.
Tallahassee Board of Realtors invest hundreds of hours in our community. Local realtors and affiliates raise funds for Boys and Girls Clubs of the Big Bend, Brehon Family Services, and the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life. Clean up local roadways and waterways. Build beds for local kids with SHP. Support Habitat for Humanity. Ring the bell at Salvation Army Red Kettles. Contribute to the Florida Veterans Foundation. And volunteer side by side with you. Our neighbors, the Tallahassee Board of Realtors, proudly serving our community since 1935.
Welcome back, WCTV Sports Overtime. We got more comments, AP?
Yeah, I'm showing Coach Braswell some of the comments from him. Best coaching staff in the state. That's my dog. Hashtag Takeo. I know there was a Bulldog 1 here from Jimmy Sauls. I mean, that's my. We already talked about that one. You know who else is in the comments though, as per usual.
There is no bye week for Jacket Nation.
No, well they were at Veterans.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They were on the road tonight.
Yeah,
Excuse
they were
me.
at Veterans tonight.
Just because we didn't have them on the show doesn't mean they're not playing.
Have you? Speaking of, I guess we'll jump right into Georgia. Have you seen Thomas County Central? Have you looked into them at all?
So we threw against them down in Gainesville at a 7-on-7, and that's a different deal. I super impressive. Coach Rogers, I don't know him personally. We've met, but Coach Crafts worked on similar staffs and knows them, and so I've always heard unbelievable things about him and staff, and they got some guys, and not only just some dogs, but man, you could tell even in a 7-on-7 environment just how well coached they were.
Yeah.
You know, and just they don't make mistakes, and when you're really, really good and you don't make mistakes, it's hard to beat.
It's just crazy. They beat some good teams this season. Teams you say could win a state championship.
No doubt.
And make them look like nothing.
Well, that's the thing is that we've talked about this before. They make it look easy, like not in terms of it's a big play, it's a chunk play, it's just that 4 yards just felt like it was effortless.
Yeah, it's effortless. That's a good way to say it. The couple times I've seen them play, it's like man amongst boys almost.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just next level. I mean, you can just see we have a lot of really good teams we cover, and they are just leaps. I don't want to say leaps and bounds, but they are ahead above of a lot of teams that we cover.
Yeah, obviously we try to just think about Taylor County all the time.
For sure.
But, man, you see some of the scores on some teams on coaching staffs that I really admire. It's probably leaps and bounds. I don't know, but
Well, I mean, you saw them 7-on-7, so that's really something.
Yeah, no doubt. They're special, right? And what an honor for him to have such a special group and to be in the season that they're in. Coach Rogers, if you're listening, man, good luck the rest of the way and go get them.
Yeah, and I mean another team out of Thomasville too. Thomasville lost a heartbreaker tonight.
I know we've got those highlights. I know and it ended up going to overtime. And I mean, again, Thomasville is such a good squad. Coach DeLay has so many good things going for him. Worth undefeated coming into this one. Great game in Sylvester, but it's so tough when you build that lead and it goes away.
Yeah, I mean, they were up, I think, 34-14 in the third quarter. Came back, Worth just closed out strong, sent it to overtime. They kicked a field goal to go up, or not kicked a field goal, they made the extra point to go up 7. And then Thomasville, gutsy call, tried to go for 2 and intercepted. The 2-point conversion was intercepted. So, yeah, just a tough loss, but you got to give it to them. I mean, when you're in that situation and you've got a chance to tie it, to send it to second overtime, or do you elect to go for 2? I mean, Coach, what do you think about in that situation when you're in a situation?
Because
like
regardless, you get criticized.
Yeah, well, you don't if you get it.
Well, that's true.
There you go.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think it's how you live, right? And I'm the same way. I go for it, especially on the road. I think that's one of the undervalued things of for sure, that a lot of people, even like my wife, like going on the road is hard.
Yes.
It's just hard. And you're just in a different environment. You eat different. You're in a lot different locker room. You're warming up on a different spot. Like, just people don't realize, like, the comfortable part of being at home.
We are creatures of habit.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And so it's hard going on the road. And so, especially in that environment, you're going to get criticized. But I think going for 2 is probably the right thing, especially if you're aggressive. And a lot of teams now are.
I mean, that's what happens. Interceptions happen when you're doing a play like that.
That's what I said. You get it, and you're the hero.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going home. You're on a high. But Thomasville, again, you talk about good teams that are going to have a long postseason. Thomasville's another one of those games.
Well, we had so many great games go down to the wire tonight. I know here in Tallahassee we had another one too, and Florida High and Chiles. Chiles, it seems like they'd kind of gotten over that hump of those close games with Coach Reagans, and he's even talked about it. You know, you got to get past losing close, and you got to start winning close. And they've done that at times this year. They beat Wakulla for the first time ever. They've looked so sharp. Had a chance to win this one, blocked field goal at the end. But regardless, this was a phenomenal game.
Man, what 2 good coaches, man. Just Bill Reagans and Coach Hick, man. What they do a great job. Both of them. Yeah, great job by both. It's obviously, again, at Florida High, man. It's hard to go on the road and win, right?
And it was their homecoming too, right?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
And I can't imagine Chiles took that too well.
No. I mean, this guy, again, this game, they had to try to kick a field goal to win it, and just it was blocked, just a tough loss. But we were talking before the show started, Coach, and please, Chiles fans, if you're in this, I don't think Chiles has ever beaten Florida High.
Yeah, I went to the game. I saw you at the game last year.
Yeah.
And so I watched it live, and Florida High, obviously, you know, Chiles did a really good job, and you know, you feel like anytime you go coach, all of us coaches feel like you should have won, and you know, but obviously at Florida High, man, they got a rich tradition of doing that thing with the W, winning. So, you know, obviously, I think Chiles has had a great year, you know, and going and beating Wakulla, and Bill's doing a great job there.
Yes.
I mean, despite struggling, I was going to say, like, would you consider that still such a moral victory for them? Like, you have a chance to win.
It doesn't feel like it on the bus ride back.
It doesn't.
Yeah, us coaches.
At least it's a
don't.
short bus ride back.
Yeah, maybe as fans, you know, I mean, but coaches, you feel like, what could I have called here? What could I have done here? Did I do something in Monday's practice to not, you know, did I not put the kicker in a field goal position to win it? There's always that, man, and you know, but at the same time, you feel like your kids went and played hard on the road, and so there's always something to take from it, even in a win, right? And tonight in our game, and you know, you win, but we had a ton of penalties, and so there's always something to take.
Any other games stick out to anybody tonight?
I mean, I was at Madison. I mean, we can talk about Madison because that might be a team that you may face down the road. So Madison, it was homecoming tonight at Madison County. They were facing a very good Pace squad. And you talk about Madison's, everyone's like, oh, well, Madison's record's not that good. It's because they played teams.
They played the most brutal schedule.
Brutal schedule. Teams that are classifications ahead of them. At Pace, 4-1 on the year heading into this game. And again, homecoming night at Boot Hill, so they wanted to win for that. This obviously too. This is a great tradition.
Awesome.
I love this tradition. They scored first. I mean, they were up 12-7 at the half when I left, and they were up 18-13 late in the fourth. I think there was under 5 minutes to play when Pace scored to win it 20-18. So again, Madison is 2-4 in the year, but that record is just not indicative of how good they are. And Coach, for a guy that's you grew up in this area, Madison County, they've always been a perennial.
Yeah,
favorite.
fun fact, I'm from Greenville, which is
There you
a
go.
small part of
Yeah.
Madison. So, and I played for Coach Harris my freshman and sophomore year. So,
No way.
Yeah.
didn't
So,
Didn't know that.
I did.
Fun
yeah.
fact of the
so,
night.
So him and I are close, and you know, obviously, man, when you got a schedule like theirs, they play championship football, right? And they'll be just fine. I promise you, they'll be just fine.
So when you look at this, and you're thinking like, this could be a team that you face down the road. What sticks out about them that you know? Again, I know it's week to week. We got to worry about
Sure.
Chiefland first. What sticks out about them that makes them so good?
Yeah, I don't really, you know, I know this is cliche, but I try not to look too far
sure, I
ahead.
understand that.
Now, we played 7-on-7. Price, obviously, our relationship. They came to our place. We went to theirs on
Yeah.
a Tuesday. And so I understand what they have. Growing up in Greenville, man, they're going to have dudes. And he does a great job. When you have a schedule like that, guys, it's and maybe fans need to hear this, I don't know, but you're playing some championship football week in and week out, going on the road, and so they're going to be prepped to go.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what matters. You know, growing up there, you always heard November 1st is what matters. You know, and so we're fighting to get to the same deal. And you win on August 13th. At the end of the year, no one cares about August 13th if you're playing really well on November 1st. And so that's what matters.
Yeah.
And again, I know the result, obviously not what Price and the guys wanted tonight, but I know for an offense that's really been looking to click, it had to be great to get that momentum out early, start a little bit early, get that ground game going, and have a lead in this game, even though you don't like losing it at the end. Just knowing that you were able to dictate terms from the beginning. In this
Yeah, and that little quarterback, Strickenberger, I think was his name. Tag Strickenberger was his name.
Pace?
Which, yeah, it's a heck of a name.
If
Love
you
the
spell that
name.
in Scrabble, you
Yeah,
win.
yeah,
on
for
every-
sure. That's like double, triple the word. But that kid could move, man. Athletic kid, could throw the ball, could run. I mean, just shifty. And they did a good job at containing him,
No
too,
doubt.
which is impressive for that
There,
defense.
no way he's a pretender.
No.
So
You're never going to let him
And
put that
yeah.
down.
They started 0-3, right, Madison?
Yeah, yes.
They lost the first two.
Yes, Swanee was their first one of the year. I do know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, though, they play a gauntlet of a
Right.
schedule. I don't think
No
they played a
doubt.
team on their quote unquote level like
But
classification.
they've been heating up since that. So
Yeah,
And
100%.
look, it's hard, man, when you're a rural football team and you call around and try to get games
Yeah.
and people don't want to play you. And they've lived that life since, I mean, I can go all the way back to 99 when, you know, they have this guy named Ping Pong, and then, you know, like they've always done this, man. Like they'll be fine.
Favorite Price Harris story?
Yeah, man. So I'm a seventh grader. He gets the job. I was the water boy, ball boy, whatever. I was all Bulldog, right? And my mom makes me walk in his office. He's on his second day of the job, and like introduce myself as a seventh grader to ask for the water boy job. And he gives it to me. What a guy, you know? I mean, and so looking back, I'm sure he's like, man, who is this kid? You know, walking in my office, but
sure there was stiff competition for that job.
no doubt. And so I tried to take it with pride.
I love it. We do have a request for Lincoln Gadsden County, which was another good game.
Lincoln Gadsden County was a
Yeah.
great game. Again, all the stuff that's happened with Gadsden this year, you give the mighty Jags and those kids who've had to go through so much a ton of credit. I mean, this is a Lincoln team that will contend at one of the highest
A
levels in
contender,
the state.
not a pretender.
Okay, can we stop?
Yeah, we'll
Gadsden hung tough with them, had the early lead, fought hard. Just so much adversity they've had to fight through, and for them to keep fighting, just a tip of the cap to all the guys. I know that couldn't have been a fun drive back to Havana tonight, but I know they should really hold their heads
And
high.
I just want to say, too, this Gadsden County quarterback, he's a safety by nature, just FYI.
Good for him.
Like, he's one because, again, when they lost some of those kids to transfers and stuff, they had to have guys step in to fill roles that they normally didn't play. The quarterback that they had he's naturally a safety. He's
Yeah,
my
you don't talk about, we just talked about like moral victories, but man, what an awesome job. Whoever's, you know, the coaching staff at Gadsden County, getting their kids ready to go after everything that they've been through since August 1 to now. And for them to go fight their tail off is something that's very, very commendable.
It's a big win for Lincoln, though, too, to be down and then fight back like that and come out on top. And we're going to talk about Lincoln in just a little bit.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. But before we do, and before we run to the big board, can we bring Seminole Miller up real quick? That's where I was tonight.
Yeah.
And just a huge shout out, because I know that losing streak for Seminole and Miller, I mean, this is two teams that have played for over 80 years of history. Or excuse me, just under 80 years of history. 76 years. Seminole Stadium was jacked up. Donaldsonville was so excited. This was a bit of a defensive battle early. I know Seminole ends up winning this 35-21, but Coach Stiegel has done such a phenomenal job after their big 4-0 start. We went there, game of the week. Taylor was there.
I didn't know when I heard that was going to be game of the week what it was going to be like to go up to Seminole. That was one of my favorite games I've had so far down here.
Have you ever been to Donaldsonville? Have you ever played?
I have not.
Yeah.
I've only been north of Bainbridge. I've never been into Donaldsonville.
It's a fun
Coach Cedric, call this guy. Let's
we
set this date.
We actually have a request on here. Taylor County should schedule Thomasville a Florida-Georgia battle. So, can we make that happen?
It would, with the tradition that with Shane and the connections there. Our schedule, we're gonna play big time games, man, and so I'm looking forward to this next cycle of what our schedule will be like. I hope our fans remember the Madison County talk.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Seminole County, it's a great place to play.
Yeah. Got a request for Rickards. We will get to Rickards in play of the week. But for now, Adam, why don't you bring up the big board for us, sir? Because there was a whole lot of close games throughout this one. We had so many games tonight, we couldn't even fit everything on the big board.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That is awesome.
Are you going to Vanna White us?
Oh, wrong chair.
Ryan, wrong chair.
Wrong chair. Never mind.
I got you.
Whoops-a-daisy.
Lord have
I was
mercy.
just going to pull it out of the way.
So now you see how
With
this
apologies,
works,
Brookwood,
yeah.
but I know people were going to ask for the score.
Great operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we get paid the big bucks. Not really.
But, I mean, you take a look at a lot of this stuff. Lowndes, that's a really, really big win for the Vikings. Coach Littleton's done such a good job since he's made it up to Tifton. And to go out there, shut them out, especially after doing what they did in Moultrie last week, that's impressive stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to, Godby 17-0 to Niceville, but Niceville is a really, really good football team. Lincoln played them really tough. To only give up 17 points to a good Niceville squad, again, no moral victories, and we got to get that offense rolling. But that's credit to Godby defense right there.
Look at Brooks with a 37-0 shutout over Lanier.
Hey, yeah, that is a big win. I just want to shout out Hamilton County. Thanks for beating my alma mater 58-14. So congrats on the win, but Blue Wave, we got to get it together.
One that sticks out to me is Mayo. What a great job their staff's done.
Yeah.
Marcus has done such a phenomenal job.
No doubt.
this
Marcus is
year,
one of
man.
my favorite people in the area. We got pretty close pretty quickly. Great human, great man, and that's a good Fort White team. That's a good win for them.
What else sticks out about here on this board to you?
Yeah, we got a lot of good teams in the area.
Yeah.
Lowndes, Tiff County's done a really good job, and so for Lowndes to handle that, at home is good for them. And I'm with Taylor. 37-0 for Brooks is awesome, and big win for Branford.
Yeah, that is a big win for Branford. Bluntstown, too. Talk about another rural squad, 58-6 over Sneeds. They've got a lot of talent on that team. What have you heard about Bluntstown?
Yeah, very talented. We saw them again in 707, so familiar with them. We went over there last year. Going to be they are a really good football team, but they'll be a third or fourth round team in the playoffs. Another really good rural team.
Some of the stuff west of us, too. I mean, Liberty County, that's a dominating performance in Bristol over Weewaw. And for Franklin to go on the road and play Cottondale like that, I think that just speaks volumes of how far the Seahawk program and Coach Cooper have come.
Yeah.
Shout out Coach Coop, man. I played with him at Faulkner University.
Did you really?
I did, yeah.
I love all these fun facts we're learning tonight.
and we played together, and great human being. And we connect, we talk all the time, but what a job. You talk about, people want to say wins, and he has one, but just talk about a place who has not won very much, and he's going in there and just fighting their tail off week in and week out. Congrats, Coop.
Yeah, also after their bye week, Valwood without Tate Snellgrove winning 31-13.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. I had to ask you about Coach Harris. Favorite Coach Cooper story?
Oh, man.
Can you say
that we
any?
can say.
Yeah, I'm going to probably keep that one off the docket.
Hey.
He was one of the first people that reached out to me when I got the Taylor job.
That's
and
awesome.
we talked back and forth from an AD perspective on how to improve our small town, and our school and what it takes. And so no great stories, but I'll leave it at that.
He was the first head coach of any sport of any
That's
team
right.
that
You're
I met,
like first
when I
week that
when I
you
moved
met
down.
here. I want to ask you this because this is something that I've always wondered because, you know, you talk about just kind of the relationships with the coaches you know, but what is it like to coach in this area? Like I know you guys at each other's throats every Friday night,
Sure.
but the coaching dynamic in this area, we have really good relationships with the coaches in this area, but what is it like to coach against these guys that you see and the relationships that you guys have built?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is you understand what you're going to go up against, you know, and there's some good, I mean, really good coaches. You even talk at Franklin, right, with Coach Coop. That's just one example, but Scott Clee. I mean, I shouldn't even name names. Just go down the list of really good football coaches. We all, you know, for the most part, we all talk and we're buddies for 51 weeks of the year, and if we draw each other, then we're not buddies.
You're not buddies that
week.
way.
You know,
The
so,
Text messages stop. For sure.
yeah. You know, even you know, Price at Madison, we talk regularly and talked last year, and you know, and then if we draw each other, we're not going to be buddies. You know, that's a joke, but we'll be, you know, going at each other, and then Saturday morning we'll recover and talk about it. But yeah, man, I try to do a really good job of networking. I think coaches are. It's getting to be a lost art of doing it the right way, and so the ones that want to do it the right way, I really draw towards them, and so there's a lot of really good ones around this area.
Yes, there are.
Okay, so this is, talk about fun facts of the night. So somebody just wrote on it, Ken Hortman wrote, Central beat Veterans 48-0. They're coached by former Cairo coach Steve Dvorsny, who was the best man in Coach Rogers' wedding years ago.
Whoa.
Fun
You
fact.
just
Like
learned
the
what a
best
small
man,
world
not
Yeah.
a groomsman, the best
The
man.
best man. Okay, here's a
Justin,
question.
you got to do your best man.
I
What are we
know.
doing?
Here's a question for you. If you could pick any two teams in the Big Bend area to battle it out, who would you pick?
Man, Lincoln Gadsden was a really good one.
Yeah.
If we're just talking Florida now, if we're talking, you know, if I'd love to see, you know, like TCC, and we're going to see it, some of those northern schools.
Yeah.
They'll see Atlanta the way that playoff structure
and so,
is in Georgia.
Right here, I mean, you know, I think everybody would love to see us in Madison, and Price and I has talked about, you know, no preview, but next year, and even if we don't meet in the playoffs, and those are the games that matter, right? And it's fan bases who know each other. I think us and Mayo's a really good game.
Yeah.
A lot of people know a lot, you know, and that's what makes it fun, right? Is you put me on the spot, but I think two of the more talented teams played tonight, Lincoln and Gadsden.
Yeah.
And you know, obviously, I think Godby Rick is always fun.
That's the best.
I've never been.
That's
but
probably the wildest game of the week we've had so far.
Gosh,
this year.
yeah, was it Godby? Yeah, Godby had a massive lead in that one. Rickards came back and stole it from them last second.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I like, you know, there's a lot of really good ones.
Yeah.
So, you know, McClay NFC will be good coming up, and so that'll be a fun game. So, yeah, you put me on the spot, but I think, you know, there's a lot of really, really cool games.
Yeah.
And even tonight, Florida High Chiles was a fun one last
fun
year.
one.
I'm sure it was a great one tonight, and obviously by the score it was. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Chiles will be involved in a good one next week. We'll talk about game of the week, play of the week, all that stuff in a second. But first, how about this word from our friends?
Tallahassee Board of Realtors invest hundreds of hours in our community. Local realtors and affiliates raise funds for Boys and Girls Clubs of the Big Bend, Brehon Family Services, and the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life. Clean up local roadways and waterways. Build beds for local kids with SHP. Support Habitat for Humanity. Ring the bell at Salvation Army Red Kettles. Contribute to the Florida Veterans Foundation. And volunteer side by side with you, our neighbors. The Tallahassee Board of Realtors, proudly serving our community since 1935.
It's really close.
We're putting a bow on it here on WCTV Sports Overtime. We're going to do Plays of the Week. Your guys are no stranger to Plays of the Week, Jesse.
Yeah. Bez Glanton won a couple weeks ago.
He's a dude.
Yeah,
He is a dude. We got 3 dudes right here, including one in Southwood, Allison.
Absolutely. Florida High, Jalen Lurie. I think he was in every highlight for Florida High tonight. Fights for the touchdown, kind of tiptoeing down the sideline there to score. Florida High getting that big one over Chiles.
We like hard, angry runs on this show, and we like when Jamarian Shepard keeps his feet churning, carrying a ton of guys in white. Miller got the first down, but they did not get the dub against the Seminole.
Yeah, how about Rickards and Davy and Cromartie? Kickoff return for the touchdown. I love that field. So
The Dead Sea.
Dead Sea's the best. It's a great name, too. Who you voting for?
I have no votes.
There you go.
But the
They all
tough
will.
run, man, you talk about physical football. I think any coach in America would say, man, that was an awesome
That
run.
might be my vote.
But if you score on special teams in Taylor County, it's a big deal. So special team scores is how you win
Special
football.
teams have to be special for
Yep,
a reason.
all 3 phases.
All right, so we talked about Chiles had their tough loss tonight. Lincoln got their gutsy win. They're just going to meet next week in Gene Cox Stadium, a big measuring stick for both of these squads.
It's going to be a good game. Like you said, Chiles is going to come out hungry after that loss tonight, after getting that field goal blocked, and then Lincoln fighting back against Gadsden County. And on top of all that, it's a rivalry game.
We had a real
love
tough.
rivalries.
We had a real tough time going back and forth between that or Clinch and Brooks. Because
Yeah.
don't look now, but the Trojans are playing really good ball. It seems like Coach McFather's got those guys rolling.
Yeah, which is what they did a couple years ago too. Remember?
That's what Brooks does every
Yeah.
year.
It just
took him a minute.
Everybody wants
Yeah.
to write them off after a
Coach
game or two.
Freeman had
and-
never had a losing season, remember? And he was like,
And they went
I think it was
5
like
and
2
5. They went 0 and 5
something.
to start
Yeah.
the season.
And then he fought back, and then ended up leading them.
Yeah, I'm close with a couple of their coaches, and we're in a Bible group chat. We talk daily, and they were a little down early in the year. Just
Yeah.
thought they should have snuck one in or whatever. But I just encourage them, man. Again, August 1 don't matter nearly as much as November 1. So they'll be just fine.
Yeah.
And they will certainly be sitting there on November 1.
Circling back to your team, Coach, I was expecting to go into that game with a Play of the Week nominee. You guys didn't have one, but I think it's because you, as we were talking about Thomas County Central, you made it look really easy tonight. It was
Yeah.
those, pounding the ball downfield. I think you had 3 or 4 runs to the left in a row at one point, but you just get 5-10 yards at a time, and it looked great.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Our kids have fought for the opportunity, and they're really excited to get the chance to do that. I'm excited for them.
Coach, this was fun.
Yeah.
Hope this isn't
It
your
was,
only
man.
visit to the WCTV
Yeah.
set this
I hope I'm
season.
back here in December.
Hey, there we go. We love it. Any final words, thoughts?
Yeah, I just thank you for y'all. I mean,
Yeah.
this is awesome. I look forward to it. Usually I'm driving back, so I turn it on. I get to listen. I don't get to watch, but thank y'all. The media coverage in the Big Bend, obviously we'll leave with y'all, but just as a whole is unbelievable, and that's for our kids. That's what matters, and so hats off to you guys.
Yeah, y'all make it easy.
Make it
Yeah,
very,
you guys make it
very
easy. Thank you.
Here's hoping you make it easy next week at Dorset Stadium for a really, really big one.
We're gonna fight for it.
There we
Yes,
go.
sir.
That's all that matters.
Coach, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Jesse
Thank you.
Braswell, head coach of the Taylor County
Thank you so
Bulldogs.
much.
Thank you.
That's Allison, that's Taylor. I'm Ryan, you're you. Good night.